What is going on, you guys? It's the Boom coming at you today with a new video. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about, you know, something that I think y'all should know. My background, my life story. Um, well, I guess we should start out where I was born. I was born on a military base in Little Rock, Arkansas. I don't remember too much of it. Um, but from what I do know, we stayed there for about 6 months and kept on going back and forth between there and South Carolina. Um, so I guess that's the end of where I was born. Um, I had, will still have a mom and a dad that love me dearly sometimes, even though I don't think it, but they do. Um, we then decided to move over to South Carolina and stay there. We were on the freeway, and that's when 9/11 happened, and we didn't know what to do. We didn't know if we should continue forward or turn around and go back because we didn't know. We decided to continue forward and keep going. And we stayed in South Carolina ever since for about almost 10 years. We stayed in South Carolina, which was a long time. I consider it my home state, my birth state, or whatever you want to call it. If I were to choose any other state, it would be South Carolina that I wanted to move to instead of where I live now. Um, let's start with my school. Went to Goose Creek Elementary. We lived pretty close next to it. Um, and that's where I met Elena, which was the first friend I ever had across the street. Um, we'd always hang out every once in a while, help each other with homework or compare notes or whatever, because that's usually what we did. And then, uh, and then we had to move again because we couldn't pay for the rent, so we had to move over to a military base. Um, and that helped out a lot. And that's when my sister was born, was on that base. So, it was nice having a little sister coming around every once in a while. But, I remember the days when I could just go out and say, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to go 3 houses down." And they'd be okay. "Make sure, though, that you can hear us whenever we call for dinner." And I'm like, "Okay." And I had this little yellow motorized car that you could ride in, like the ones you see at Walmart. And, it was great. It had working cup holders, had a radio. Oh, man. I'd drive over to a girl's house and say, "Yo, get in." And then we'd just ride around, like not even far, like maybe 20 yards at most. But it was fun. And then we were able to finally move again because we were able to get enough money. We moved again to a new house, 2 stories, big house, big house. Um, I had the upper room. My sister lived across from me, and we just had fun. And I mean, it was great, absolutely great. And then my brother was born, which that was cool. I guess having a little brother. I mean, he looks up to me, even though I don't think it, but he does. It means a lot. And then, Christmas carols around. We get this big, huge Christmas tree. It's like it touches the roof of the 2-story house, which was huge. Um, and I mean that was awesome to have a Christmas tree that big. Now we have like a little small one, but it still fits like home. then school started rolling around again. I went to then I was homeschooled, then went to an arts and magnet school, which was like the easiest thing in the world. They gave you coloring books as homework pages, and I mean it was great, fantastic. And then I met Mary Neal, which lived across from me, and she had two other siblings, both all sisters, um, Bob and Sydney. Um, and they were all sisters, so lucky me, right? 10-year-old kid, already having three girls already interested in you. But it was great. Besides that, you know, there was a lot of stuff you could do. You could be able to go literally across the neighborhood, hang out with a friend, and no one would worry because they trusted you. They knew that you were gonna come home when they said come home. But nowadays you got kids that think they're more important than their parents, and parents fall forward to it, and that's bad. Um, but one day, I went over to Mary Neal's house and she wasn't there, so I'm like, okay, where's she? And so then I asked where she was, and turns out she was all the way over to my first ever true best friend, named Zachary Poloni. There's no other guy crazier than Zachary Poloni. I mean, shoot, we lit a fire on a dock, and yet somehow we're still here. Am I right? I mean, shoot, we went mud dipping, which was a new thing that we founded. It's where you get almost completely naked, all the way to your underwear, and you jump into the biggest mud pit you can find, and we'll see how far someone gets. I think I always won it, but you know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be talking to you guys or having my Xbox One or Xbox 360, which has always been sitting right there. I wouldn't be doing that. He also got me into Halo, and I mean, this was all new to me. I mean, for a kid at 10 years old and being totally blind by all of this is almost unheard of nowadays, but now it's just like a regular occurrence. Our first ever game we ever played was Halo 3. And let me tell you, I have never had more fun than that game. Ever. And I mean, sure, I mean, we did some stupid stuff. I mean, we would go out and then we shoot each other with, like, pellet guns for fun, and that kind of thing. And, I mean, he had the biggest woods in his house. Biggest thing I think I've ever seen. It wrapped around the whole neighborhood. And, no one owned it, but we walked around there. We did stuff and that kind of thing. He also got me into fishing, which was pretty big, for a kid being new to the whole area and, not doing anything. It was great. I mean, I'd go over to his house every day and we just talk, hang out, do whatever for like 3 hours straight. It was great. Absolutely great. And then we met Zachary Cast, more into video games than I probably am right now. Um, very big into it, very big. Big into Halo also. He helped me get back into Halo, and that kind of thing. And that was nice, And I mean, like I said before, I mean, this was all new to me. I mean, the only thing that I had that was related to gaming back then was a Nintendo DSi XL, and I had to pay for that. And I mean that wasn't cheap. It was $200, and I mean, sure, nowadays that seems very cheap, for a gaming console. But for to be 10 years old and having $100 bill in your hand and saying, "Go buy this," I mean, I'm like, okay. I mean, that's a lot of money. And then middle school happened. I went to Barrington Middle. Got to see a lot of my good friends. One of them was David Burgess. I still talk to him to this very day. I'm very close with him. I mean, shoot, we made a blood oath that if we were to ever get married, I made sure to be his best man, and whenever I got married, he'd be my best man. That's how close we are. And then I think that was like the one day, no, excuse me, the one year that I decided to, hey, let's try something new. So I started dating, and I honestly didn't know what to say, what to do. All I knew was like, hey, hug her, kiss her, be there for her, and all that. And because of me not knowing what to do or how to, if I wanted to break up with somebody, I just tell them straight up, hey, I'm gonna break up with you. Why? I don't know. But there was this one girl who was a total. I mean, I look back on it every day and I suffer from it because I was that big of a douche. She liked me, I liked her, or at least she thought I liked her. But I I told her straight up, I'm sorry, but I mean, this is the day when you wrote notes and then you hand it to her because you were so scared to say it in person. You didn't know what to say. So, on that little piece of note, I said, I'm sorry, but I was really using you as a stepping stone, a way to make me feel better. Yeah, there's probably more to it, but I wish I remembered, and I'm honestly glad that I forgot. But sometimes, if you forget, history repeats. At that school, they had robotics, which is what got me into programming. I mean, shoot, if you tell me how to make something and show me how, like, what buttons do what, boom. I mean, it's that easy. I'm a very fast learner if I enjoy it. We didn't win robotics. It was fun. I mean, I remember every day I would take like $2, get a Mountain Dew Voltage, and a Hershey's cookies and cream, and that'd be my snack every day. It was great. Well, Christmas started to roll around again, and then my parents woke me up 11:04. Woke everybody up. They made us sit down on the couch. On October 21st, 2010. That was the day my great grandma died. And I mean, I knew that death was an important thing, you know, that it happened to everybody. But I mean, shoot, I remember the days when I was like 10 years old, and I would say, she's gonna break that Guinness World Record of living up to 114. She's gonna do it. She's gonna go for it. She never made it. She lived up to be 98. She lived an amazing life. Amazing. She told me about her brother named Strawberry, and the reason why he got the name Strawberry is because every time they went to go pick strawberries, he would come with his basket empty with a face full of red because he ate them all. But when she died, you know, some stuff left with me. The things that left me the most were, hey, wake up. You know, life's short. But what really happened was is that I didn't know what to do. I was lost. I thought that I lived the best life that I could live as of right now. I mean, shoot, as a 10-year-old kid, you'd think that you wouldn't lose anybody. That families stick together, family wouldn't die, and that kind of thing. But when I went to the funeral, something left me. I didn't want to be around anybody. I wanted to be left alone. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to be left alone. Forget everything happened and just forget and regret. And that's what I did. You know, I'm that type of guy now that if I see that a person needs me, I'm going to be there. Whether I get punished for it or not, I'm going to be there. Because I don't know if that's going to be their last day with me. Or if, you know, they could be trying to commit suicide. I don't know. I don't know. But all that I truly know is that things need to happen to happen. And I mean, it sucks, but it's just how life is. So, that Christmas, I asked for an Xbox 360. Got it. Came with the Kinect, whole 9 yards. Came with even a Halo 4. I think that was the one game that I was able to complete entirely on Legendary Solo, which for me was a big, huge accomplishment. Going into Halo and owning your first ever Halo and just, man, it was great. Great. But I knew I was missing out. I knew I was missing something. Something big, you know. So I started looking up tutorials about how to do stuff. And that's where I found out YouTube. Who knew, right? And I mean, things got even worse. My dad retired, and that was great. Fantastic. We were getting double paychecks. I mean, we were just rolling in it. He got a call from Boeing, which is basically Air Force for businessmen. And he said, hey, you know, with your specialties, we'd like to get you on the team. And he said, okay. Well, one of the requirements was is he'd have to live in Georgia. I think that was the day that was the most important decision of my life. Either I could leave everything that I ever knew existed, you know, and start out entirely new. And, well, I decided that, family's important and that we should stick together. So I did. We stuck together. And, you know, I look back on it every day and I'm like, did I really make the right decision? Now I know I did. But I lost so much, so much. School started up, and then I had to sign a form stating my address, and I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know my address anymore. I was that attached. It took me 2 months to finally get my correct address. 2 months as a 12-year-old kid. Because I had my Xbox 360, I started to game more. And because of gaming, I became used to being in my room, staying isolated. Isolated from everything. You know? I mean, shoot, if gaming went away and I never knew existed, yeah, I could probably live off well. But it's like I said before, I feel like that people need me every time I get on there. I make people's day. I make people laugh sometimes. When I make people laugh, it helps them forget everything that might be happening in their lives. Everything. And that's what I love about gaming so much. You can forget about everything that's going around you. Everything. And just sit and relax and enjoy. And me going to, a new school, it was tough. I didn't know nobody. I didn't know where I'd fit in. And then, it got even worse, I started to game even more than I wanted to. Regularly it was just, I'd hop on, and then I'd get off, and then work with homework or whatever. But I'd get home and say that my homework was done, and then hop on for like 4 hours. I mean, sure, now it's worse because I'm in esports, but I mean, it's just it was tough. And then on top of that, I mean, it didn't help that I'd come out of my room because I needed to go eat, and then I'd sit down at the table, and then they'd be like, "Well, what are you doing on there?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm with this clan," and they're like, "Oh, your clan," and all this and that. And I'm like, "Can't you see that I'm trying to do something here, trying to make something important, and y'all are making fun of it?" And so, because of that, I started eating my room, and then they got on to me because of that. They're like, "You need to spend more time with the family," and I'm like, "Why would I want to spend more time if I'm just gonna get insulted constantly?" Little did I know that there's people out there that want to communicate with you, want to have fun with you, but so there's also people out there that just want to use you. So I remember the time that life was good, life was great. You could just hang out with friends across the street and no one would care. And then I met Griffin, and that was great. We had fun. We'd always, just hang out, go explore, and do all of that. That was fun. And ninth grade started. That's when I asked for an Xbox One Elite, and I got it. $500 console. And I mean, I still use it today. And, I mean, I love it. Got it with Halo 5, and I mean, that's where everything changed. I mean, that's when I realized, like, I could be able to do this. I could do this as a living. I could make it happen. I just gotta put forth the effort that needs to happen and pursue it. So I did. I did. And if it wasn't for that time, I probably wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here doing all this with you guys. And yeah, I know this video is long, but so is a life. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long, and that kind of thing. So then 10th grade hit. It was nice. At the very start of the year, I wanted to get back to dating, so I did. And when I met this beautiful girl named Brianna. And I mean, if you're watching this, I want to let you know that no matter what decisions you make, I'll be there. I'll be there for you. And it was tough. I mean, I started out the year bad. I won't lie. I mean, I thought it would just be as easy as it was as ninth grade, and it wasn't, because ninth grade was pretty much eighth grade. But 10th grade was like totally different. And it got tough, but Brianna helped me through it. It helped a lot. And then I got a call from a good friend of mine. We've been friends for about 2 years. And he hooks me up and he says, "Hey, you want to join an esports team?" And I go, "Who doesn't?" So I got in. And, well, I guess that's where I'm at now. Sitting here talking about my life story, talking with y'all, and all this and that. I mean, it was great. Fantastic. Fantastic. It still is great. um, but I mean, still to this day, I get insulted by my family. And I mean, now my dad's threatening me because I'm trying to do something here. I'm trying to get Monster, Steel Series, all these sponsors going on. I'm trying to get them, and then my dad's shooting me down. But then next, he tells me, "I want the very best for you." And I mean, shoot, I wanted to pursue the Air Force. But then I realized, maybe I can actually get away with, playing video games for a living and doing what I think can do best and help people. And he tells me, "You don't have to join the Air Force because I joined the Air Force." He tells me that do what you want to do. And I say, "Well, I want to do video games." And it's because he doesn't know what can happen, you know? And yeah, there's a very big risk, You got to give it your all, you know? You got to put out everything on the table and say, "Here you go." And if that gets shot down, then you're pretty much done. Unless you can just bring it all back together, and that's even harder. But, I've been trying to make it through. I've been trying to make people's day, do all that. But yeah, Mom, Dad, if y'all are watching this, I don't know if y'all have even come to the very end. Y'all probably are already getting on me in the future or whatever. But I want you to know I love you a lot. Sure, some days it may not seem like it, and some days you might even hear me cuss behind y'all's back. But it might also be because y'all are trying to shoot me down on something that I love. love it. I love gaming and I love being able to talk to friends that are across the state, people I don't even see faces, but yet I can be able to put a face on. You know, I feel like in the near future that gaming can actually help bring together the world. I feel like it's possible. I really do. Whether it be VR or something brand new that we've never even heard of right now. I feel like it's possible. But yeah, guys, that's my life story. You know, if you made it to this far already, I mean, congrats on you. You know, thank you, definitely. For you know knowing that you're a true friend and all that. But what I'm hoping to do is the giveaway. Um, I don't know when that might be, but I'm hoping to start it up on January. I've just been letting people know about it, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know if I said it before because I had to do another recording because my mic wouldn't pick up. But I'm hoping to go to a tournament up in January to St. Louis. FFA, Halo. I mean, that'd be great. But yeah, guys, that's out for me. There's gonna be no outro, no thumbnail, no nothing. So that's my life story. Um, Hope y'all, learn maybe something new about me that you've never even heard of or knew about me. Maybe y'all did, maybe y'all didn't. But yeah, guys, that's it for me. Hope y'all enjoyed. I know there's a long video, but yeah, I felt like it needed to be. So see y'all. Peace.